welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news, and it's Sunday morning, and it's smiling Sunday morning, isn't it? Because I tell you what, I'm still going to keep saying it all the time. I just don't believe that we've got Cristiano Ronaldo back at Manchester United, and every time I say it, it puts a smile on my face. A big win for Manchester United, as we know. We've got lots to talk about this morning. Lingard and POGBA contract developments, we'll talk about that. Ronaldo, his first week at United, some interesting things coming out from The Athletic about that. Also, some interesting things coming out from people from the club as well. And as well, Sir Alex Ferguson, you might not have heard it yesterday, but he did do an interview. And I don't know whether it was for Portuguese TV or something, but it definitely wasn't British press. He sat down before the game in the stadium and gave a few quotes, which are really interesting, which we're going to talk about now. So lots to get in on the show. As always, get your comments in. Thanks, everyone. We have got the Sunday night show tonight at 8 o'clock as well with some of the lads, which I'm looking forward to. So lots to get involved in. I think you pronounce Sue the way you pronounce you. So the way you say you should say Sue. Think that's the correct way, says Cinder. Oh, mate, the fact that this is getting people's knickers in a twist. You know me. If you've been watching this show for 6 years, if somebody's telling me I'm doing it the wrong way, Robin, Cruz, Royce, it's not how you say it. It's not how you say it. The fact that I know it's winding people up will make me do it even more. Sue! I find it hilarious. I had people yesterday saying, man in his 40s saying Sue. I tell you what, life lesson. If you can't get joy out of goals going into the net like you did when you were a kid, when you get a little bit older, get in the bin, get in the grave early, because you know football's not the same anymore. I don't understand these people. I've got mates like this. They get to a certain age and they suddenly think they've got to be a boring shit. Like the Rolling Stones, they're out bloody doing concerts in their 80s. Well, apart from the one who's died a couple of weeks ago, rest in peace, Charlie. But the reality is, don't get old. Don't get old. Stay young and invincible. That's what I say. But look, let's get on with the show. Talking about one of the legends of the game, Sir Alex Ferguson. He was talking about Cristiano Ronaldo before the game yesterday in an interview, and he said this. I've got to get this right. He said that he was asked if he was emotional actually about Ronaldo coming back, and he said, I wouldn't say him. I was nearly the Scottish accent. I'm not going to do that. Scooby-Doo. I don't do that about Sir Alex. He said, I wouldn't say emotional. I'm excited and relieved, because I'm excited that he's here at the club, and I'm relieved that I couldn't imagine him going to Manchester City. We had to speak to the Glazers, and that was stopped from happening. But he also said, he was also asked if he contributed to Ronaldo coming to Manchester United this time, and he said, I contributed, but the main thing is knowing that Ronaldo wanted to come to Manchester United. And I think that's really... Sir Alex is such a great man. The way he speaks about things, he could be the most self-centered persons on the planet, because he is the greatest sports manager there's ever been. But he's like, I contributed, but the reality is Cristiano wanted to come to United, and that was the main thing. And we had a bit of a chat with the Glazers, and they did the business. So, absolutely fantastic. But what he did say is about the impact of Ronaldo is the impact he's going to have on the younger players, but also the fans. And we saw that yesterday as well. I mean, just unbelievable. I cannot wait to get up to a game. I've not been for a couple of years now because of COVID and that. I only normally get to 2 or 3 a season now anyway, because of doing stuff on the United Stand. But I can't wait to get up there and be part of that atmosphere again, because that's what, I can only, we've got Adam on the show tonight, and he'll tell us all about it, but I can only imagine what it was like. I don't think what we've seen of the clips and everything like that does justice to what that was like. Just even listening to the clips of Old Trafford from people in the Stretford end and, people outside the ground. A lot of us have been to Old Trafford on match day, and it's amazing, but it's very rarely like that. Just unbelievable atmosphere. And Newcastle they had no chance, did they? They were sucking that ball into the back of the net, United fans, yesterday, and Ronaldo was happy to oblige. Ronaldo at the double, and we have new teenage sensation. What a day for sport yesterday, says Ben Anderson. Yeah, big shout out to Solihull Moors. I completely, they're my local team. I'm sponsoring the women's kit this season. They won 2-1. They were 1-0 down when I checked last, but I just got so wrapped up in the United stuff yesterday, I completely forgot until this morning. So big up to them if you're following that journey with me this season. Anyway, let's talk about the Manchester United journey, and we're going to talk about Pogba and Lingard contract develops in a moment. It's the Sunday morning show, so lots of news around sort of transfers and stuff going on around that. But let's start off with Ronaldo. He is the man of the moment, and some interesting stuff coming out of The Athletic, but also some interesting stuff I was told this morning as well. Some of it around Pogba, but some of it around the club. So I'll start off with what I was told this morning. And this is coming from within the club. And what I would say about Manchester United is they are fantastic as a football club when things are going well. They're more than happy for information to be coming out when things are going well. Not so easy when things are going badly, and you can sort of understand that. But when things are going well, people loose lips, right? So, on this channel and around the United fan base for a decade, we'd have loved Ronaldo back. And it was getting to that point where it was like, it's probably never going to happen now. And then lo and behold, it happens. I don't know what was going on in the club around that for 10 years. Maybe at times we were closer than we thought we were. Maybe we were never close to bringing it back. Maybe it was only because he was going to Man City that we've gone and got this deal done. But the funny thing is, within the club at the moment, everybody's buzzing, from players to the Glazers to the cleaners. Everybody is buzzing about Ronaldo being back at the club. And why wouldn't they be? Because we're all buzzing. To be honest with you, they won't admit it, but the Premier League are buzzing. There's a lot of rival fans who are buzzing. I've got people messaging me saying, oh, it's just amazing he's back. They would never say it publicly because they're not United fans. But they're loving it. They're absolutely loving it. And even the people who are sort of calling him Penaldo and all that deep down there, this is fantastic for the Premier League. And that only benefits the Premier League. So I think it's fantastic. But within the club, one of the things I was told this morning is that the feeling in the club is, in the higher echelons of the club is, this is amazing. Why didn't we do it a few years ago? Which is funny because it's exactly what many of you have been saying for a long time on this community and beyond. I've seen it on forums as well. Ronaldo coming back to United, he's exactly the player we need. And I remember these conversations going on 3 or 4 years ago. Ronaldo, especially when he left Real Madrid the last time, which was, 3 years ago? Exactly the player we need. He'll give the club a buzz. He's a winner. He'll give everyone a kick up the backside. And financially, commercially, the Glazers will be swimming in money. So it's funny. Look, we've done it. That's the great thing. We've done it. We might never have done it. But the funny thing is, within the club, they even acknowledge that now. We probably should have... Well, no probably about it. The line was... in the club, they're saying, well, we should have done this 3 or 4 years ago. Why didn't we do it 3 or 4 years ago? And questions, they're not being asked in relation to people being sacked, but from the Glazers, it's like, why didn't we do this 3 or 4 years ago? They're not the football people, and they're like, they're to be convinced to get Ronaldo. It's conversations with people like Ed Woodward and Sir Alex Ferguson that convince them he can't go to City, he's got to come to United. They're now saying, why didn't we do this 3 or 4 years ago? And, no regrets. You can't live in the past, but it just shows you the enormity of the impact that he's had. Not just on the pitch, not just on the fans, but within the club as well. Nobody is a dissenting voice in that club. He's cost a lot of money, but nobody is dissenting about it. Nobody's saying, oh, we shouldn't have done it. It's United from top to bottom that this deal is unbelievable. They can't believe the buzz it's created around the fans, around the world, the financial impact it's having. It's just one big tick. And very rarely in football can you buy a player that will just elevate the club in every single level, and it's going to be very interesting to see how long it can last. And that leads into what the Athletic are reporting about his first week at the club. So Tuesday it was just really about familiarity, getting settled. Wednesday, a little bit of training, and then on Thursday, with a few players back from international duty, Ronaldo felt the time was right to bring the players together and say, look, there's some good players here, but the level's going up. We're here to win silverware. And that, to me, is like the mic drop moment, because that is what we've bought him for. He is a fantastic footballer. He is one of the world's greatest ever footballers. But that's the sort of news I want to read. I want to read that. I want Ronaldo to come in for a couple of days, survey the scene and go, right, I'm here. Everybody gather round. You're a good player. It's like The Office, isn't it? David Brent, when he goes, you're not going to get the sack. You're not going to get the sack. Mrs. Fred, you're not going to get the sack. I'm sorry, Fred, you're just too easy to joke about at the moment. But it's like he's gathered everyone round and went, you're good players. Not made eye contact with certain players. You're good players, but the level's going up. I'm here now. You are good players, but I'm not putting up with that. I'm not putting up with that. Ollie, I'm not putting up with that. No, it won't be Ollie, will it? But the levels are going... And I don't think Ronaldo can do anything more at the moment to be on the level that he is amongst United fans. But he's just gone up another level for me. It's like, you're good players, but I tell you what, we're going up a level because I want to win things. And he hasn't got any time to waste. He's never had any time to waste anyway. I think that in some ways we do it an injustice to say, oh, Ronaldo he's only got 2 years here, he might only have 3 years here. But if you look at his career and you look at Messi's career as well, it's not like their mentality was any different when they were 25 to 36. Like, he hasn't got any time to waste. Because if you want to win 5 or 6 Ballon d'Ors, or you want to win 5 or 6 Champions Leagues, you've got to be doing that from your early 20s. And he'll keep doing it. It's brilliant. I was there yesterday, the K-stand, it was amazing, says Jordan Wright. Big up to you, Jordan. Hi, Mark. Just want to say a big thank you from Hong Kong for the grueling efforts day in, day out. Fantastic content and quality, Bants. Please keep it up, says Justin. Well, look, I want to just say a big shout out to the chat as well. We've got lots to get into this morning, but I thought the watch along, everything yesterday was absolutely fantastic, and I just loved it. I just loved the whole day, and as I say, if you're actually at the game, I know loads of people who went to the game, like people I used to go to school with. You know, you go on social media and you see your different social media outlets, and you know, people I didn't even realise were United fans and probably aren't United fans. I mean, there was a lot of people at that ground yesterday who weren't United fans. Like, people I know in the industry who are putting up videos, they're there, and I'm like, you're not a bloody United fan, but they've gone. And this is what I mean. That's a really big point. The amount of people at that ground, I mean, you get the celebrity United fans, of course they're going to be there, you know, Gary Oldman, what a legend he is, people like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, Gary Oldman is Commissioner Gordon out of Batman, the trilogy, which is for me one of the best trilogies there are out there. But I don't know why Ronaldo, I don't know why we've got a bit of the wrong thumbnail on here, because I've definitely got it saved as the right thumbnail in the back system. So I don't know what is going on there, but we'll sort that out. But yeah, the amount of people who were at the great game yesterday that weren't United fans, and the amount of people that were outside the ground, influencers doing stuff who aren't United fans, just filming it. So it just shows you, would anybody ever think I'm going to go to Manchester United versus Newcastle after the international break and do some vlogging? It's because of Ronaldo, because everybody knows the impact of Ronaldo, the shirt sales, the interest globally. This is what I was talking about a couple of weeks ago. People are going to become Manchester United fans or try and get to games because Cristiano Ronaldo is here. How many more, you know, if you are an Arsenal fan living in England or a Liverpool fan living in England, you might think you're not going to do it. You might be able to do it. You'll probably just wait for the game at the Emirates or anything like that. But, you know, if you're a Charlton Athletic fan, you know, where's your chance of doing that? So it is absolutely fantastic, and it's really, really exciting. That just reminds me, actually, before I talk about these Pogba and Ronaldo talks, I just want to say as well, I'm just going to put it up on the screen first of all. Let's go.
But how he manages himself on the pitch is just, you can see it up close in person, like there today in the stadium. You can see how he survived so long. You can see why he's still going and playing at the top level. And today, United needed someone on top level finishing. We got it time and time again. Last season, we took that shot. We had no one in the 6-yard box following up. Now we've got that predatory striker. But how he managed.
So that's Adam outside the ground. You may know that that is Adam, and he'll be on the show again tonight. But look, a lot of people getting in contact with us. That's footballmedia@gmail.com. I've dropped the link in the video description. You, as I said at the start of the season, can be doing that. If you fancy yourself as being able to do that sort of thing, and at the end of the day, that's just a decent quality camera held in a certain way, a phone camera in a certain way, with a plug-in mic after the game, during the game, before a game. If you want to get involved, this is the channel. The United Stand is your channel. You know, we're not owned by somebody else who pretends to be a United channel, a United fan. We're not owned by a media company or anything like that. The United Stand has always been about the fans. Adam has started that off. If you want to be somebody else doing that, you want to be involved on match days, home and away, it's open to everybody. You know, people get very critical about, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. We're going down a different route this season in relation to match content, and you can be involved in it. And it doesn't matter whether you're from Manchester, whether you're from London, whether you're from Ireland. You know, some people moan about this, but you can drive this. You can be a voice. You can be that voice. So that's footballmedia@gmail.com. You've got nothing to moan about, have you? Because you can be involved. People moan about this type of content, but you can be involved. You could be that person who comes on all the time and says, people shouldn't be moaning at Ollie. You know, win, lose or draw, get behind. You could be that interesting voice that offers that interesting opinion, game in, game out. So if you want to get involved, or you've got other ideas for the channel, it is your channel. That's footballmedia@gmail.com. Get involved through the link in the video description. It's very easy what Adam's doing, and to be honest with you, some of you are probably far more technical than I and Adam are, and you might have different ideas about how you want to do a match day experience or other stuff in and around. So get involved. through the email address. I wanted to just bring that up because we'd mentioned it pre-season and some people had been moaning about it, so you can get involved, of course. Remember when we had a defence that was young, small? I don't know what you're talking about, Ali, there. God, I do wonder sometimes why people type stuff that makes absolutely no sense. Anyway, it's for everybody. Let's have a look at some of the latest news coming out of United as well. So, as we know, we're going to talk about Lingard and Pogba contract talks here. We know with Jesse Lingard that he won't sign a new contract at Manchester United until he has assurances about first-team football. Is it possible to be involved from the States, says Dishan. Well, are you going to be attending games, mate? Because if you are, then it's very possible. If you have ideas that are unique and we might look at, then definitely send us an email. But what we're not looking for is people sat in their bedroom doing a match reaction, because apparently that's what I do already, so you know you're going to be copying that. But that we're not looking for that sort of match day reaction. We're looking for people at the ground, but other ideas we're always open to. So let me talk about Jesse Lingard. So Lingard obviously came off the bench yesterday, scored a very important goal. Ollie got it right, Jesse got it right. Where are we with Jesse Lingard contract talks at the moment? Well, what I was told this morning is that in relation to Jesse, he loves Manchester United. I heard somebody say yesterday, I don't know whether anyone else saw it, I don't know where it was. It was probably on social media. Why does Jesse always make it about himself? He scores a goal and he's there doing his Jay Lingard impression. He's just living his best bloody life. Look, to be honest with you, Alan Shearer used to put his hand in the air. Boring Alan Shearer. Ronaldo does sue. And the reality is, Lingard's got his thing. I always get it wrong. I can't remember. I always go like that. It's not that, is it? Is it that? Something like that. Anyway, that's his thing. He's living his best life. As he said on social media yesterday, he's got a picture of him, which I've seen loads of times, where he was a really young kid and Ronaldo was an older lad. And he's just gone and scored a goal and celebrated with him. You know, he's living his best life anyway. He plays for Manchester United. You know, well done. But he's also now celebrating with Cristiano Ronaldo. Just over a year ago, we were looking at Josh King, says Sean from Ireland. Yeah, well, Sean Longstaff yesterday, he could have been in a United shirt if things had gone differently 3 years ago. So, yeah. But where are we with Lingard? Lingard wants to stay at Manchester United. He wants to play at Manchester United. What I was told this morning is this contract rebellion stuff, it's not really there in the sense that technically it is. But Jesse wants to sign a new contract at United, but he wants to sign a new contract at United knowing he's going to play for Manchester United. That's what he wants, and he's in a position of power. So ultimately, United are, and this is all I've been told this morning, United are in a weak position here. Now, it's not that the club are putting pressure on Ollie to pick him so that he signs a new contract, but Ollie is fully aware from the club that ultimately, if he doesn't pick Lingard, he's going to walk out for nothing and United are going to lose 20 million. Now, this happened a couple of years with Ander Herrera. So read between the lines on this, what's actually happening. Is this why Lingard's coming on before Martial and Donny? Yes and no. I think he's in form and he scored a goal and it worked, and it's always a footballing decision. But subconsciously, it might be something that is playing on Ollie's mind because he's got to do something. And people will say, "Oh, well, you can't do that. You can't pick Jesse just to get him to sign a new contract." But actually, even in a footballing sense, it's a decision that has to be made, and Ollie's got to make it. It's all right. Maybe the board are saying, "Can you play him a bit so he signs a new contract?" But actually, he did have a good season for West Ham last year. He is getting an England squad. And he does offer something off the bench. And he's going to walk out the club for free. So if you've got that choice between Lingard and Martial, well, Martial's under contract. No one's going to moan if he doesn't bring him on. Jesse's going to go for free. He does offer us something. Get your. I know you said get your suit on. Get your tracksuit top off and get on the pitch. So I think Lingard. And what I was told this morning is Lingard will sign a new contract. If it continues the way it's going to, looking like it's going to go, he'll sign a new contract because he's getting game time. He's very happy. And if he gets to start a couple of games as well in the next few weeks and he stays on that England squad, he'll sign a new contract. It's very unlikely he's going to run his contract down. And the expectation is that Lingard will probably sign a contract imminently. Now, what's imminent with Man United? As we learnt in the summer, imminent can be 6 weeks. But definitely looks like he'll sign a new contract because he wants to be here, but he wants to play first team football, and yesterday will have pleased him a hell of a lot. Everyone, oh my god, Ronaldo is back, go to Ronaldo, they nicked one, I gotta win this, says Mamacina. And welcome to the Members Club, James, as well. You can become a member by clicking the join button, and thanks everyone who does your super chats as well, we'll read those out for you. Are you feeling sick, says Sebastian? No, just did a lot of shouting yesterday. You shout Sue a lot and see what happens. Sue, 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 see. I don't bloody know what it is. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to learn it either because I think it's much better to do that. We dodged the bullet by not signing Saul Niguez. It's one game, mate. Are you going to judge Ronaldo off one game? I'm not going to judge Saul Niguez off one game. I don't judge Ronaldo off any game because I already know he's the GOAT. But look, it's one game. It takes a bit of time. Are you doing Liverpool watch along? Yes, I am, Lucas. So yeah, on Lingard, before we talk about Pogba, chances of Lingard signing a new contract are very high. He's always wanted to sign a new contract. He wants to stay at Manchester United for the rest of his career. Don't we all? That's what he wants to do. I still think, playing devil's advocate here, I still think Jesse should have gone to West Ham because you'd play every minute of every bloody game. I don't think it matters how well Lingard plays. I don't think he'll start every game for United. But if he's happy to be a bench player who comes off the bench, then maybe that's what he's happy with. Still gets in the England squad, he's happy with that. But I think the problem comes, and I like Jesse. I didn't really like him 3 or 4 years ago, and I don't think he really liked himself as a player 3 or 4 years ago. But I think where he is now, I like him. I just like what he offers. Do I think he's a first-team player for United? No. Do I think I don't think he's a better Dan James. I think he suits certain positions where a team's going to attack us, like Newcastle had to, and you can spin into space. But I'd put him in the Lingard. They both start with a Lindelof, Lingard. I don't want I like Lindelof. I think he's a good player, but I don't want him anywhere near the starting lineup because we won't win the league. And I like Lingard, but I don't want him anywhere near the starting lineup because we won't win the league. So that's where I put Lingard. And as I said yesterday, I think if Martial wasn't at the club, and maybe another, if Martial and Donny weren't here, and I think Lingard's fine. But would you rather have Martial playing over Lingard or Donny playing over Lingard? I personally would. But Ollie obviously ranks him higher, and he's not a bad option to have off the bench. He really isn't. So I think he will sign the new contract, and I think he will get a lot of first team opportunities this season because Ollie's already hinted at that. He said he would have started him on the opening game of the season. He's come off the bench more than Donny has, hasn't he? So I think he's going to be involved, and I think he'll sign the new contract, and that's certainly the noise coming out. So I don't know what people think about that. Hi Mark, I'm confident that Varane will be our signing of the season. What's your point of view? Says Michael. I'm not confident that Varane will be our signing of the season. I think he'll be a brilliant signing. He's better than Harry, isn't he? And I think Harry would have to acknowledge that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like Cavani saying Ronaldo's better than me. It doesn't mean Cavani's not a brilliant striker. It's like Rashford saying that Ronaldo's better than him. Doesn't mean that Rashford's not a better player. Varane is better than Maguire, and you can see what Varane brings to that team. I said this last night. I think that De Gea is banging form. He's back to his best. Varane's world class. Luke Shaw's looking brilliant. Harry Maguire's looking brilliant, and Wan-Bissaka is actually looking a lot better. So I think that our back five is very, very strong. I wouldn't mess around with it much at all. Carabao Cup, maybe. Hi, Mark. What's your prediction for Liverpool versus Leeds? I'm looking forward to that game, Bobby, actually. I mean, I'd love Leeds to get something. I'd love a 3-3, but I think there'll be a lot of games in it. I'm looking forward to that this afternoon, actually. In relation to the Premier League and the race, we're in it. We've got to find consistency. I think West Ham next week's a massive game. We are in that race. I'm just looking forward to watching United at the moment. And I don't really see... I don't really see any guilt attached to that. I mean, we're going to talk about this on the show tonight at 8 o'clock. I'm really looking forward to it. But I don't feel any guilt. I mean, I don't know what people get at, actually. I mean, Craig says I was at the game. Donny didn't even have a proper shirt under his jacket. He obviously didn't expect to get on. He was the only sub who had to ask for his shirt, says Craig. And if we had that same lineup against Newcastle with Kimmich instead of Matic, do you think we'll win the league? Well, let me come back to that, Lucas. And I do need to talk to you about Pogba as well. Thanks for the super chats, like I said. Thanks for supporting the channel. But, look... I noticed yesterday a few people... I mean, I love this. I had people DMing me saying, have you seen this tweet? Have you seen this tweet? And I have a look and it's like I get listed with all these Pratt Ollie outers who are... I say Pratt Ollie outers. I'm not talking about being Ollie out means you're a Pratt. There are some people on social media who are Ollie out and they just never shut up about it. I get listed with them and I'm like, but I'm not Ollie out. I get crap on this channel for not being Ollie out. I'm not Ollie out. I haven't been Ollie out since before we bought Bruno. Like, I'm not Ollie out. I'm not. What I am is somebody that when I see somebody in a United shirt or a manager who's a Man United manager, not at the levels we need to be, I'll have a bit of a moan about it. But I don't feel guilty about that because I'm brought up, like many of you, by Sir Alex Ferguson. Like, when I was a kid, Sir Alex Ferguson was Manchester United manager, and when I was a grown adult with kids of my own, Sir Alex Ferguson was still manager. He brought me up in a footballing sense. He's my father figure in football because he managed my club all of my formative years. When I start getting on at players, that's because I've seen Sir Alex Ferguson do it. When I moan about where we are in the league, that's because I've seen Sir Alex Ferguson do it. I don't understand people who have a go at people for being negative when things are not going well, when we learnt this from the greatest manager there's ever been, our footballing father. But when things are good and you're happy, people want to go, well, you were moaning 2 months ago. It's like, well, what happened 2 months ago? We lost a bloody cup final. We played crap. What happened now? We've just exhilarated our fan base with 3 really good signings. The club are doing what we want us to do. Ollie's doing what we want. We're winning games how we want to do it. Surely in football, when things are going well, praising it, enjoying it, is what it's all about. Because we want the club to realise, we want the club to wake up and go, wow, look at all the support we've got. It's because we did all that, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's because you're doing the right things. And we'll applaud it, and we'll be the best bloody fans in the world when you're doing that sort of things. When you let the standards drop, we'll still be the best fans in the world, but we're bloody vocal as well about what's going wrong. Look at the Super League. We got the United fans protesting, games cancelled, not happy. This is what football's all about, and don't ever forget that the origins of this, for many people, certainly myself, comes from our footballing father Sir Alex Ferguson, who basically set the standards that when they drop, we moan, and when we hit them, we celebrate and say, this is where we should be, well done. The most positive I felt for a long time, still work to be done in the midfield, but the closest we've been a long time could be our years, is Gary Dowdall. Exactly, and just let me talk about the Premier League before I talk about this Pogba talks. I do think that Chelsea, Man City are going to be relentless. I think they're going to be touching 100 points, certainly 90 points. Liverpool, to me, look quite consistent as well. I think it's going to be a very, very hard league to win. This ain't going to be a Leicester league. This is going to be, if you win the league this year, you're going to have to work for it. And I think I'm still going to stay third. I'm not going to get over... It's like Ollie said last night, let the fans dream, we'll keep our feet on the ground. This might be a build to next season. Although I think next summer is going to be a big upheaval at the club because of players leaving and how we replace them, which we'll talk about Pogba in a moment. But we are and have got a chance of being in this title race because there's only 4 clubs that can win it and we're one of them. But I tell you what, I think it's going to be really about, you can't afford to go to West Ham and draw next week. You've got to go and win because I think, look at, Villa aren't a bad team. Chelsea beat them 3-0. Leicester aren't a bad team. Leicester, City dominate them. I know they won 1-0, but they had loads of chances. I think Liverpool will beat Leeds today as well. I think that there's not going to be many games. I think the games between each other are going to be the big games. I think Man City, Chelsea, and have you realised this as well? I can't believe this. Let me just say this as well. Only negative thing I'm going to say today. Man United against Villa, which is not on the telly again, in a couple of weeks' time, 3 o'clock on a Saturday. Man United against Villa, 3 o'clock on Saturday, right? They've moved it because of a concert to 12:30, but they've not put it on the TV. Guess what the TV game is at 12:30? Man City against Chelsea. So I'm pretty sure it's Man City against Chelsea. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But Man City against Chelsea, a game I want to watch. I want to watch it because I believe we're in a title race and I want to watch that game. Our Man United's game against Villa, which isn't on the bloody telly, is on at the same time. What? You having a laugh? You having a joke and what? What's going on? What is going on? I'm furious. Can't believe it. Some stories floating about that Ollie prepared to listen to Donny regarding playing as a 6. One can only hope, says Mike David. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'll write that down for the 8 o'clock show because it's a bigger question. And I said we'd talk about Donny on the 8 o'clock show. So, I don't know. I don't know about Donny. He came on for Bruno, didn't he, as a number 10 yesterday? He could have come on for Matic. He could have come on for Pogba and pushed Pogba to the left and not brought Lingard on. And he gave him 10 minutes because Bruno, the game was over. That's not really... That substitution for Donny yesterday meant nothing. In relation to it meant a lot to be on the pitch, of course it always does, but it doesn't mean anything in relation to his development. If you come on for Bruno for the last 5-10 minutes, it means nothing. You're not taking his spot no matter how well you do. Donny knows he needs to be coming on as an 8 or a 6. It's his only way of getting in that first team. He's got to look at where you get into the team. When I used to play, I was always a decent footballer, but I never used to play for my school team because I didn't get on with a few of the lads. You know, I just couldn't, they didn't like me and I didn't like them. So I never used to play for the school team. And then it got to when I was about 14 and somebody said, you need to come and play for the school team. Like, you know, you should be playing for your school team. It's a good team. And, you know, so I did it. And ended up getting on with the lads that we didn't like each other ultimately. But when I came to training, it was a good team. And I looked at it and I was like, well, I play CDM. I'm never going to get that position because the lad who plays there plays for the county. And it's not that I'm not better than him. Just I'm not going to dislodge him. He's a very good player, and you have to look at it like that. And I was like, well, I wouldn't mind playing box to box. But again, the lad who played in there, I think he was on Notts County's books. Like, so I was like, it's not that I didn't think I was better than them. And this is the situation Donny's got. I fancied the 6 and 8 position. That's where I used to play. But I was like, I'm not going to dislodge them because they're good players and there's no reason, unless they get injured, for them to come out of the team. I need to find a place in that team that I can play and get into that team. And then when I'm in the team, I might be able to dislodge them then, but I've got to get in the team first. So, you know, I was quite clever about it. I was like, we had a right back playing at left back and my left foot was good. And I was like, I can play left back. So he brought me on in a game at left back. I played bloody brilliant. They had a really good right winger and I pocketed him. These were in my quicker days. And that was my way into the team. I got in at left back and I played left back, even though that wasn't my position. And then we changed the system and they used to play me as a sweeper in a back five because it was like the 90s. Everyone was doing it then. So that's what Donny's got to do. Donny's got to find his way into the team in the weakest spot. And I don't know whether he can play as a 6. I really don't think he can. But if he thinks he can and that's his way into the team, it might be his way into the team. And then once you're in the team and you're playing well, maybe we buy a 6 next year and it's like we've still got to find a place for Donny. Pogba's gone, let's play him there. Donny's got to get into that team. He's never dislodging Bruno. Coming on for 10 minutes for Bruno is not going to get him in that team. And that's what he needs to do. He needs to get himself into the team. So when these people say, oh, he's not a number 6, he's not a number 6, why is he talking about being a number 6? Because maybe that's where Donny sees his way of getting into the team. And maybe he knows he can do a better job than a Fred or a McTominay or a Matic. So that's where he wants to play to get in the team. The problem is if Ollie's there going, oh, you know, Karaki is not a number 6. I'm not playing him there. He's a number 10. Well, he's never going to play at number 10, is he? So watch the space on that. Wait for the reality when we play City, says Johnny. Look, Adam's match reaction from yesterday was really interesting. I watched it again this morning. It's well worth a listen if you are somebody that just wants a different angle on the game yesterday. Maybe if you're an Ollie outer, you'll love it. And Adam's not an Ollie outer, but the way Adam, well, just check his match reaction out on the homepage. It's probably one of the best ones I've seen because he actually, you know, it's a different angle. It's like Levin, who's pragmatically Ollie out. He wants him to do well, but he just doesn't think he's good enough as a coach. He doesn't rant and rave about it, but he just doesn't think he's good enough. Adam's match reaction yesterday is well worth watching because it's like he said things like, you know, you take Ronaldo and Bruno out there, we probably don't win that game. We didn't actually create as many chances as we should have done, and the football actually wasn't amazingly brilliant. The result was. So make sure you give it a watch.
How he manages himself on the pitch is just, you can see it up close and personal like there today in the stadium. You can see how he survived so long. You can see why he's still going and playing at the top level. And today,
you can be doing that yourself. If you're somebody that goes home and away and you want to get involved in the United Stand, that's footballmedia@gmail.com. And I would love to get one of these people who moan about fan content, because actually, why don't you come and do one every week? Why don't you show us what you think? It'd be brilliant. I'd love it. I'm all about getting the opinions. It'd be great. Let's have a look at... Sorry, there was some echo there. I don't know what happened there. Destroyed your ears. Sorry, I don't know what was going on there then. No idea. Anyway, let me talk about Paul Pogba, because people have been asking about that. So the situation with Paul Pogba at the moment is that United talks with Paul Pogba are ongoing. Now, we've got Fabrizio on the show tomorrow. We said to Fabrizio, come on after the transfer window a couple of weeks later and give us the update on everything. So we should get a Pogba update tomorrow anyway. But what I was told this morning about Pogba, as I said, I've had somebody telling me about what's going on with Lingard. What I was told about Pogba is conversations with Manchester United are ongoing. Obviously, he's out of contract next summer. The belief in the club is that he will still leave next summer. That's the stance. They're trying everything, but that is the stance. However, the positivity around the club has encapsulated everybody, and obviously Paul Pogba's part of that. Paul Pogba at the moment is probably getting the most love he's ever had at United. 7 assists in the Premier League already. He's not the superstar of the team. You know, Bruno's getting goals, Ronaldo's now getting goals, but he's being appreciated in a totally different way. And this is not being lost on Paul Pogba. He's enjoying himself at United. He's enjoying the quality of players like the Varans and the Sanchos and the Ronaldos and the Brunos. He's loving all of that. He's loving what United are doing, and he's very settled. The thing I was told is it's very hard to read Pogba, because it might be that he's very happy and settled because he knows he's going in a year. He might even be, well, actually, I'm not the superstar anymore. I don't like that. I want to go elsewhere. Or he might be happier than he's ever been and close to signing a contract. So what I was told is about Pogba is he's very hard to read. What's definitely the truth is that he's happy. He's never felt more appreciated, and he's settled. Now, whether that's going to lead to him signing a new contract, some people in the club believe he's going to sign a new contract because the buzz has never been so big. Other people think, well, he's happy, but he's going to go next summer because he wants a new challenge, but he's enjoying his final year at United. So on Pogba, the talks continue, but it's very hard to read what's going to happen. So we'll see if Fabrizio can give us anything more tomorrow in lunchtime about that. But he is... he's doing fantastically well, Pogba. I mean, I just feel so happy with the team at the moment. I know we're nowhere near the level we need to be, but it feels like, you know, when if you're into your gardening, you plant some roses and you know that they look nice already, but they're going to grow into more bigger roses if you water them and look after them well. And I feel that that's like United. I think we've been planting daffodils. I can't bloody stand daffodils. You know, them yellow things, them yellow Pratt things that come up in the spring. They're only up for about 2 weeks and then they leave a right mess. I can't stand daffodils. Some people like them. I can't stand them. They look like big weeds with a yellow head to me. So I think that United, over the last 8 years, we've been planting daffodils. I think we're now planting roses, beautiful red roses that are going to grow. And I think that's what I feel about United at the moment. We are planting roses. They are a bit prickly, they can hurt you, but ultimately they're beautiful when they grow. And I think we are actually finally planting something that can grow into something amazingly beautiful. And I don't think we've ever been doing that. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I'm really happy, and I think that a lot of United fans are really happy. But because of the last 8-9 years, we're also realistic. We know that this can go wrong. We know it might not blossom into something great, but at least the promise is there. And whilst the promise is there, I think there's a united feeling in the fan base that we have been quite negative over the last 9 years as a fan base, justifiably. But when the club are doing something good, I think there's a responsibility in the fan base as well, that we're all like, well, look, maybe we're overhyping it a little bit, but if we show that appreciation and love towards the club and the players, they understand that we will back them when we believe there's something happening. And at the moment, I think that's what you're getting. Excitement, buzz and hope around something that can grow into something great. Of course, it might not work. Instead of watering the roses, some prat might put weed killer on it, and we know who that prat would be. But maybe they're not going to do that. Maybe they're going to grow it perfectly and everything's going to blossom. And I think Paul Pogba in that position is like, he's a player at the moment that he's not getting the hype. I'm not seeing all Pogba FCs, Pogba's better than Bruno and all this crap that we've had for years. What we're seeing is an appreciation for Pogba, that he is a massive part of that team at the moment, a fundamental part of that team. Bruno as well, Ronaldo, I thought Sancho was brilliant yesterday. It amazes me that people don't understand the role that Sancho did yesterday, but I think in time people will become more accustomed to what Sancho's all about. It's not always about scoring goals and getting a assist. In fact, here you go, shout out from Ricky. He was messaging me yesterday and he was very impressed with Sancho. He said, look, he's exactly the sort of player that we need. He is the player that is going to, he keeps the ball high up the pitch. Ronaldo finally coming back from a 12-year loan spell, says Juz. And when's the preview for the Champions League game? Well, we'll probably have to do that tomorrow, won't we? I mean, it's fast now. We're playing again on Tuesday. I'm sure there's a presser for Ollie. We'll probably be flying out, won't we, to Switzerland tomorrow as well. So, yeah, very, very excited. Lots to look forward to in relation to Manchester United at the moment. And as I said, I think that we can definitely be proud of what happened yesterday, and hopefully we can build on it. I am realistic about it. I think that, you know, anything other than realism at the moment could come. You know, West Ham next week's a difficult game. I know we've got Villa on the horizon, and Everton as well. So we've got games that we need to win, but are bigger tests. Newcastle was not a massive test, and we got through it. Now we've got to take that momentum, but, you know, that chemistry should grow as well. These players playing together, that chemistry should definitely grow. Look, please smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe and get involved with the channel. We've got the 8 o'clock show tonight. That's going to be really good. It's our flagship show. It's the show where we, you know, interact and we have our opinions on all the big matters. You know, some of the bigger matters that you can't talk on a morning show or an 8 o'clock show, but you can on a Sunday night. It sort of encapsulates the week, really. So looking forward to that. And as I said, if you're interested in being involved like Adam does, the matchday vlogs, you want to do those sort of things, that's footballmedia@gmail.com. Get in contact us with that. I mean, obviously, as I said, we're not looking for people to do it in their bedroom with their crappy curtains. You know, we're sort of moved past that. The United Stand has standards. It's got levels, and if you think you can be part of taking it up to those levels and you want your voice heard, get involved. That's footballmedia@gmail.com. I've shown you the clip of what Adam does. Do check out his match reaction as well. Very interesting look on the game yesterday. Thanks everyone for watching. I will be doing a watch along for the game against Leeds and Liverpool this afternoon on That's Football at 4, I think it is. Bit of FIFA this afternoon at 2, so watch out on my Twitter @MarkGoldbridge. Thanks everyone for watching. Keep them smiles on your face. Let's stay positive and see what this club can deliver. Speak to you all soon.